Steve, first of all, welcome back. Great to have you back. 2-1 defeat today at home to Hayes and Yeadon. You're obviously one of the strongest sides in the division. But 2-1, do you think that was harsh on your team? Do you think you deserved at least a point out of the game, given the balance of play?
Yeah, I think we probably deserved a point. They probably had a little bit more possession and probably created a few more chances, which you would expect. They're a really good side. But I think if you look overall in the game, we had a couple of good chances as well, and I think that today our luck in the game probably summed up how we're doing at the minute. And it's always the way when you're struggling with your results, your luck don't help you. I thought we started brightly. We were causing them problems in the Channel's first half. We go 1-0 up, which is great, lots of confidence. And then 5 minutes later, JT gets injured in an innocuous sort of challenge. I think he caught his studs in the turf and it doesn't look too good. He comes off, they score straight from a set piece 2 minutes later, which he would have been on for. Well, we never know whether he would have stopped that, but I'd have been fairly confident he might have because he's a big part of us defensively. He comes off, they score 1-1. 2 minutes later, Sammy, a horrendous collision. I don't lay any blame with their play.
It looked as though, from us, it was again similar to James Taylor against Harrow. A clash. Was it a clash of heads to start with? Because we had a gash and then his shoulder on the way down.
It was quite scary because when he went down, he was out cold. Unfortunately, we didn't have physio that day. Our physio had called in sick. We think he's got COVID. So obviously we've run on Hayes. To be fair, their physios were really, really good. It looks at the minute that he might have dislocated his collarbone. And he had some damage to his nose and his teeth. He had quite a bit of blood on his face, so he wasn't.
But that was all from, just to be absolutely clear, that was all from an accidental clash of heads, no elbow or.
No. I didn't. I could hear a few people saying a few things. The only thing I will say is the referee gave us a free kick, so he obviously thought there was some sort of foul in there. But the speed they hit each other, it was actually quite sickening to look at, and it could easily have happened to them. So there's no. But I think it was a genuine attempt for both.
They both had eyes on the ball. Yeah.
He was extremely brave, and unfortunately he's come off the ball. But again, we've just got him on a loan. Great little player. He's gone, and this has happened to us about 3 or 4 times already. And so he goes off. So you're having to rejig things again. And Kev comes on, and one thing I said to Kev, listen, he's new to this level of football, and watched him a lot of 23s last year, and I think he's got something to give us in midfield at times, but you can't take basic instruction on. You've got no chance. And the basic instruction was, do not dive in.
Well, perhaps the disappointing thing, obviously you've said that to him just before he's come on, but perhaps the just as disappointing thing is that, it's 1-1, gone in at half time, think start the second half well, don't do anything silly, all the usual stuff, keep it tight for 10-15 minutes, etc. And that was literally 2-3 minutes into the second half. Obviously he's clipped their player as he's gone across him, and before you know it, you're 2-1 down.
Well, that was the most frustrating thing at half time, that we spoke to them, and the team talk was the game will probably be decided by decision making, and it'll probably be the wrong one. It costs maybe them or us the game. Yes, we are quite a young side, so you think it's more likely it could be us, but we then asked them to play a certain way, go a little bit more direct today, because I felt that's where we were getting our joy. And it's not about, you can still play. There's nothing wrong with dropping the ball into the channel where you're forwards. That's where our goal come from. And for 10 minutes, I don't know what we were doing. And as I say, Kev's got the wrong side of their midfielder. But then, if you're the wrong side, you cannot do what he did. He's brought them down as a penalty, and ultimately it's cost us a game. For 10 minutes, then what we were doing playing-wise, I don't know. And then once we got ourselves going again, and we started getting it in behind them, we caused problems. Yui's gone clean through. For me, if he goes down, it's probably a red card.
I was just about to say, obviously, on top of what you said about going 2-1 down, there's 2 big moments again in the game from a incident-wise, decision-wise, that you could say didn't go our way. If buts, maybes. But the first one was he's gone through. I think it was their 6. It was blatant shirt pull. Obviously from where we were, Jet Ewington's shirt was way out. We could see a blatant shirt pull, stayed on his feet, and the chant didn't score. What would your advice from him? Should he have gone down and got the penalty?
It's a difficult one because it happened so quickly, and Yui so many times has stayed on his feet and slotted the ball. And if he does that, it doesn't matter. If he goes down, that would be a red card, because I think the initial foul probably started outside the box, so that probably would be. The only thing he's probably, and he knows himself, you've got to try and work the keeper there, at least make him make a save. But in fairness, maybe their defender done enough to put him off, to stop him doing what he needed to do. And again, that, not making excuses, it is what it is. That seems to sum us up at the minute. It's I didn't even hear the referee say play on, he just didn't react to it. But these days, the problem is if you don't go down, you don't get a free kick. He's played on them, and we haven't taken the chance.
Again, the frustrating thing as well after that incident was that a number of people, obviously the linesman was down that side of the pitch in front of the stand there, and on his way back out, back up the pitch, the linesman, after that incident, obviously people were questioning, what's going on, did you see that, why wasn't that given? And he seemed to acknowledge that he saw the incident, the linesman. So again, it's slightly frustrating whether, again, I don't know if you could get instructions whether you're allowed to help the referee out nowadays or not, or just offsides only.
I don't know what they do half the time. But no, listen, it's one of them. It could have. Listen, of course, it could change the game. But if you score, it changes the game. But he didn't give it, and that's probably the way things are going. That probably summed today up really. And cause I think for me, and it's very easy to say, similar to the Handwell game, both centre halves go off injured, we lose 1-0. Today, centre half goes off injured, we concede straight away after, and ultimately then we've made a silly decision, and we've lost 2-1, and that's the disappointing thing, because at the minute I'm not seeing a lack of effort, I'm not seeing a lack of will to win or attitude. I'm not stupid. The squad is still a little bit short. We've stepped it out this week. I haven't stopped. And I'll be doing the same again this week until we get it right. But football's fine lines. I think we're very, very close. But ultimately, at the minute, that don't matter because we ain't winning games.
Well, given how things went on Saturday, which we'll briefly touch on in a minute, you must have been really happy, as you said, just with how the effort, and he said it was just, as we've already spoken about, fine lines and the odd goal, which obviously was a penalty, and that between one of the, from what happened on Saturday to today, not much in it between us and a team that expect to be challenging for promotion.
No,
you must be really happy with the reaction after Saturday.
Reaction was good. In fairness, the reaction and effort Saturday was great. But what I can't do is because ultimately, listen, the results are down to me. I'm not stupid, and I'll keep doing everything I can to get it right. And I'm confident that we get it right, because I think if you look at today's game and maybe last week, we're not a mile off. We're probably just a little bit short, and it's just a little bit of that know-how. And that's the difference between someone like Hayes, the poor decision we made today, they didn't make. Or they were clever enough to get away with them when they had to do them. And that's just a bit of experience and good players. And you just, ultimately, they beat us 2-1, and we have to take that on the chin, and we have to, as we said to the boys, as frustrating as it is, we've got to regroup. You can't give up, you've got to regroup. I'll keep trying to add to the squad where I can. I'll probably have to add another couple this week because of injuries again. Because Sammy and JT got no chance playing for next weekend, but we brought in 3 this week, and if we have to get in another couple this week, that's what we'll have. That's my job to do. It's hard, but that's what we've got to do.
The second that we referred to a minute ago, the second incident really that was the first one being James Unison and the shirt ball. The second one I think was a few minutes from the end, where it was Ahmet Baylo who had been fouled. He was on the floor, and their 9, who ironically ends up getting the winning goal from the penalty spot, slams the ball from point blank range, kicks it straight into Ahmet while he's on the floor, yellow card.
Yes, listen, I'm not going to stand here and moan about that then, because I don't think it is a decision that would have affected the game either way, because I think it was really, really late in the game. Listen, you never know. That's not why we lost the game 2-1 today, but again, it's when it ain't going your way, I'll guarantee you if that had been the other way around, or if that had been Saturday, we'd have got about 4 red cards for that. But it is what it is. The consistency of the officials does frustrate you at times, because I've seen that happen before and player get a red card, but we just have to. That one today is what it is. He hasn't given it, so we just have to get on with it.
Very briefly, so we don't want to go into too much detail. Obviously, it's kind of moved on. Instead, obviously today it proved that the players have kind of, I think, got Saturday out of their system to a certain extent. Quick turnaround. But just going back to Saturday very quickly, that opening 10-15 minutes, just your thoughts on that. Obviously 2 penalties, a red card, and obviously Weston-super-Mare, obviously again one of the strongest teams in the league. But that opening 15 minutes was just ended it as a contest effectively.
Yeah, I think if you speak to any manager, when you have days like that and decisions like that, you sometimes wonder, what am I doing? Because we'd worked so hard all week in training. I've been on the phone non-stop getting players in because I knew how difficult it would be. Western are the best side in the league. I'll stand by that now. They are very, very good footballing side. And I'm not standing here going, oh, well, we lost 7-0 because of the referee. But he's made 2 decisions that are absolutely appalling. We had an assessor standing next to us by the dugout. He was shaking his head. He said to him, I don't know what he's doing. The first one, the forwards through, Imran makes a great tackle, not one appeal in the ground, he gives a penalty. Second one, Pred's a little bit clumsy, just inside the box. I thought it was a penalty, no problem with the penalty. But the guys, there was people in and around him, and the double jeopardy rule now is if it's a penalty, it's a yellow card. Unless he's blatantly pulled him back or booted him from behind, which he didn't if you've seen the video, and he gets a red card out. So you're away to the best footballing side in the league, you're down to 10 men and you're 2-0 down after 15 minutes, game over. And after that it could have been 15-3. They murdered us, but they were entitled to. The effort of the boys was unbelievable. It was boiling hot. They had an extra man. It was just, they're hard enough to play against an 11 man. But they're the things in football that drive you nuts because, as I say, you've worked hard all week. It was my first week back after taking a break for a week, and all you want to do is get things right. And we started really well in the game, and that's the frustrating because all you'll hear now, oh, shut up, you've lost 7-0, blah blah blah. I see some of the stuff in the Western fans online. Oh, that's it, you blame this, but it's a fact. Anyone who's at the game saw it. Even some of their fans were giving it the referee the way off. But for me, eventually, if you're a player and you keep playing badly, you get dropped. If you're a manager and you keep losing games, you get sacked. I understand that. But some referees, I don't know what the consequence is for that. Listen, James, we might have lost 5-0 anyway. I'll never know. But you just want a chance. You want it to be even, and it wasn't even. Even their manager said to me, he said the first 2 decisions are a joke. All I hope is that I'm always told that things even themselves out. I certainly don't find that.
We're owed a good few, I think.
Well, every time we get on the M4, we don't get any, and it's been and I'm not moaning about it. It's a fact. Every time we go down to certain parts in this league, we get nothing, and it's all the time, and that it needs to be addressed. It's not fair. It's a hard enough league anyway. We have nowhere near the budgets and the size of squads that some of the other clubs do, but all you want to do is go down there and it be a level playing field. And at the minute, there's 1 or 2 things that for me that they're not right. But yeah, it'll happen again. I guarantee you.
Steve, thank you again. Great to see you back, as we said before. Best wishes to James Taylor and Sam Alston, as it's obviously, by the sounds of it, could be out for a while today. And see you next week for FA Cup.
Cheers, guys. Yeah, thanks for the support. So we go again next week. Yeah.
Thank you. Cheers.